The Endless Night. Shadows of the Nameless Valley, Episode 6, Part 5. The roar did not end. It rolled across the valley like a living storm, shaking the earth beneath their feet and sending fractures racing through the stone circle. Andre fell to one knee. His ears rang, his vision blurred. Around him, the surviving villagers screamed as the ground buckled beneath them. Several of the ancient monoliths cracked from top to bottom. Pieces of stone crashed into the clearing. The red glow pouring from the fissure intensified. It no longer resembled light. It looked like blood flowing upward from another world. And beneath it all, those enormous eyes remained fixed on them. Watching. Studying. Recognizing. The realization hit Andre harder than the roar itself. The thing beneath the valley was not some mindless monster. It was intelligent, ancient beyond imagination, and it knew they were there. The voice returned, not spoken, not heard, felt. It spread through his mind like cold water. The third door opens. Every villager collapsed. Some clutched their heads, others screamed in agony. Andre felt as though invisible fingers were digging through his memories. His childhood, his parents, his first fears, his deepest regrets. Everything was exposed. Everything was being examined. The presence searching his mind felt enormous, like standing before an ocean and realizing the ocean was looking back. Then the pressure vanished, instantly. The survivors gasped for breath. Several were crying. Others sat motionless, staring at nothing. No one spoke. No one needed to. They had all felt it. A sudden crack echoed from the forest, then another, and another. The sounds multiplied rapidly, thousands of snapping branches, thousands of breaking trees. The darkness beyond the clearing began to move. At first, Andre thought it was the fog. Then he realized the truth. The forest itself was shifting. Entire sections of woodland were bending inward toward the stone circle. Trees twisted unnaturally. Roots tore free from the earth. Massive trunks groaned as they leaned toward the fissure, as though the entire valley were being pulled toward it. Maria grabbed his arm. "What's happening?" Andre didn't answer immediately, because he already knew. The crack was growing, and reality around it was beginning to fail. One of the villagers pointed toward the sky. Andre followed his gaze. His heart stopped. The clouds above the valley were splitting apart. Not naturally, not like a storm. Something invisible was tearing them open. Beyond the opening lay a sky unlike anything he had ever seen. A sky full of unfamiliar stars. The same stars he had seen beneath the fissure. The same stars from the other world. The barrier between realities was breaking, and both worlds were beginning to overlap. Then the first figure emerged from the forest, a woman, silent, pale, walking slowly into the clearing. Andre recognized her immediately. Elena, the young woman who had disappeared from room 12. Behind her came another figure, then another, then dozens more. The missing villagers, every person taken by the darkness. They stepped into the clearing one by one. Their movements were wrong, too smooth, too synchronized. Their eyes reflected the red light from the fissure. Their smiles remained frozen, unchanging. The sight filled everyone with dread. A father rushed forward. His daughter stood among them. She had vanished 3 days earlier. "Diana." He ran toward her. Several people shouted for him to stop, but he ignored them. Tears streamed down his face as he reached the little girl. For one brief second, hope appeared in the clearing. Then the girl looked up and opened her mouth. A black mass erupted from within. A swarm. Thousands of tiny shadow-like creatures exploded outward. The father screamed.
The swarm engulfed him instantly. His cries lasted only seconds. When the darkness dispersed, nothing remained. No body, no bones, nothing. The little girl continued smiling. The villagers backed away in horror. Nobody moved toward the figures again. The heartbeat returned. The fissure widened. Another section of stone collapsed. The ground split open near the edge of the clearing. Red light erupted from the crack. Andre felt panic rising. The valley was tearing apart. If the process continued, there would soon be nothing left. Not the village, not the forest, not reality as they understood it. Then he saw something, a symbol, carved into one of the fallen monoliths. The same circle surrounded by jagged lines. The symbol from the church, the school, the Black Mirror, the monastery, was everywhere. And suddenly he understood, not completely, but enough. The symbol wasn't a warning, it wasn't decoration, it was a lock, or at least part of one. The realization struck him like lightning. The structures throughout the valley hadn't been random.
The monastery, the church, the school, they had all been built around the fissure, each one serving a purpose, each one reinforcing the barrier, each one connected to a door, and one by one, those doors had opened. Andre rushed toward the nearest stone, ignoring the terrified voices behind him. The symbol glowed faintly beneath the red light. His fingers brushed its surface. Instantly, images flooded his mind. Thousands of years flashed by in seconds. He saw the first settlers arriving in the valley. He saw them discover the fissure. He saw the impossible thing sleeping beneath it. He saw their fear, their desperation, their bargain. Then he saw the truth. The creature had never been imprisoned, not completely. It had agreed to sleep, in exchange for something, a sacrifice, a price paid every generation. And eventually, someone had stopped paying. The agreement had been broken. The doors had begun opening, and now the sleeper was waking. Andre collapsed backward. The vision ended. His breathing was ragged. His heart raced. Maria knelt beside him. What happened? He looked at her. His face had gone pale. We were never keeping it trapped. What do you mean? He stared toward the fissure, toward the gigantic eyes watching from below. We were keeping it asleep. The silence that followed felt heavier than stone, because everyone understood the difference. A prison could hold, sleep eventually ends. The creature's eyes narrowed. The red glow intensified. The air vibrated. And for the first time, Andre saw more than the eyes. Something enormous moved beneath the surface, a shape larger than any living thing should be. Its outline shifted through the red haze. Tentacles, or roots, or limbs. He couldn't tell. His mind struggled to comprehend what he was seeing. The creature seemed to exist in ways that defied logic. Looking at it directly caused pain. Looking away felt impossible. Then another voice spoke, different from the ancient one, human, weak, familiar. Andre. His blood froze. The voice came from behind him. Slowly, he turned. A single figure stood at the edge of the clearing. A woman, dark hair, pale skin, a gentle smile. Impossible. His mother. She had died years ago. Yet there she stood, exactly as he remembered her. Mom. The word escaped before he could stop it. The figure smiled and stepped forward. Behind her, countless other shapes emerged from the darkness. People the villagers had lost. Parents, children, brothers, sisters, friends, loved ones, all returning, all smiling, all calling their names. The clearing filled with voices, familiar voices, beloved voices, tempting voices. Andre suddenly understood the true danger. The darkness did not conquer through force. It conquered through longing, through grief, through hope. It offered people exactly what they wanted, and then it consumed them. His mother's figure extended a hand. Come home. For one terrible second he wanted to, more than anything. But then he noticed something, her shadow. It moved independently, twisting across the ground in ways no shadow should. The illusion cracked, just enough. Andre stepped backward. The figure's smile widened unnaturally, too wide, far too wide. Its eyes turned black, completely black. The disguise was gone. The thing beneath it was finally showing through, and around the clearing, every false loved one began changing, smiles stretching, bodies twisting, eyes darkening. The nightmare masks were falling away. revealing whatever truly waited behind them, and from deep below the earth, the ancient creature spoke once more, a single sentence that echoed through the valley. The fourth door awaits. The ground exploded beneath the stone circle, the fissure widened again, and somewhere in the endless darkness below, something massive began climbing toward the surface. End of part 5. To be continued in part 6.